here tonight on the 5-minute full circle, 5-minute binary flow sheet and traders process. So it's a wonderful day, and it has been such a great day for myself and for our team that we wanted to share these webinars every night for, I don't know when they're going to stop. I wanted to have them every night because I know that a lot of people don't get a chance to really investigate their craft or what they want to be their craft during the day. We have webinars that happen all around the clock at all different types of things that we do. But this particular webinar is going to be here at 7 p.m. Eastern from now until maybe a week or so from that point. And then we'll start to have some internal webinars for our members. So this is really open to the public. There's going to be a lot of people in there. We have about 14, 15 people in the room right now. Welcome to everybody here. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy night to be a part of our lives. And I want to thank you. My name is Max Farrow. If you don't know who I am, I'm a senior level 2 trader at Dex Signals and Our City Investments. I'm one of the owners. I've been classified as a master trader at that point of, I guess you could call it being a master trader, but I'll fall in line with just about everybody else being a senior level 2 from our own process. I've been trading now for about 3 years active on binaries and systems, but overall, I traded Forex many years ago from the systems, and I've been working very hard on building this platform out. About 2.5 years ago, we got ripped off something fierce, over $115,000. I had some partners from a marketing firm. We had some extra capital to burn, and we said that we were going to put it into the market. If I just lost the money, if I had made a mistake with making a wrong trend move or getting into a bad stock, I could accept it, right? I could kick myself in the butt for it, but I could accept it and I could have moved on. But we got ripped off. I mean, these people came in and took the money, stole it right out from underneath us. And some of you probably know how that feels. I got tired of that feeling. So I started to build and started to search for other companies that might be able to help us out. And let me tell you, when I started to look for a 5-minute binary or even a broker for binaries, I couldn't find one. It wasn't until I found Nadex that I started to be able to trust the market a little bit more. When I started to try to find somebody to help me trade, to teach me how to trade, I found a lot of companies out there that could teach you a little bit, but it was all so confusing. They made charts look like they were roadmaps written by a chicken on crack. I got to tell you, and I have a master's in chemical management. I'm not just somebody who just can't figure that stuff out. I'm very fluent in figuring programs. Why? Because I'm a programmer. Okay, so I have a very sharp mind when it comes to these things. And if you make me confused, you have a major issue, right? But one of my tasks that I've learned in life is that you can make your life easy by taking the complicated and peeling back all the crap you don't need. And that's what I've become very masterful at, is taking everything that you don't need in a system and peeling back all the crap and just leaving the base foundation. And let me tell you, if there's not a foundation there for you to be able to work, I don't bother with it. We started to search once we started to search for companies out there and we couldn't find any. My partners and I sat down and we boiled back to a handful of skeleton group people. And we said, if we can't find it, we're going to build it. So we built Dex Signals first. And Dex Signals is a very profitable, very worthwhile company that does a lot of good and a lot of training. But we also knew that as we were building indicators to test strategies and run our signals, we needed another platform to be able to house our indicator systems. And so that's where dexindicators.net was born just last Monday. Yeah, go figure, right? A lot of work has been done since Monday to today. Actually, the previous Monday, let's say. Okay, because really we had the site, we just didn't launch it until last Monday. We launched an alpha on Monday. We've been doing some webinars on Monday, Tuesday, or we did one Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think we did another. I forget how many we've done so far. It's been a long day. But in building this process, we began to find that we need to let the world know about this system and what we're doing, because our process of taking the complicated and making it very simple, what we have done is built some very powerful indicators. There's a whole bunch of them. There's like 6 or 7 major big ones. And we've combined them into pairs and groups, created a strategy around them, and teach the hell out of it, right? We teach you every morsel of information we can along the way. But you're going to see it's very simple. So let's get started. As a 5-minute full circle trade. Well, simply enough, we use the Nadex 5-minute binaries that are on nadex.com. If you don't know who they are, that's okay. If you've never used them before, if you're a United States citizen, or even if you're one of the countries that allows you to trade on Nadex, that's okay. You're gonna find a lot of information. Even if you're here and you just trade binaries overseas, trust me, I am going to give you stuff in this process that's going to help you trade those things as well. The 5-minute full circle works perfectly on Nadex, works very, very well. We have a lot of testing that's been happening, a lot of customer testing, and it's kicking butt right now. It uses AUD USD, Euro USD, British Gold Pound USD, and USD JPY. These four major pairs are the ones that are on Nadex right now. And these are the ones that Nadex uses for their 5-minute expiring. So basically, an example, at 1 o'clock, there is a trade that kicks off, or a expiry or a statement that kicks off. There's 3 or 4 of them. I'll show you what they look like. And then again at 1:05, at 1:10, and so on, all the way around the clock. So there's about 12 of them that happen an hour. Okay. Now, because there's 4 pairs, that's about 48 opportunities in 1 hour that could happen. Now, I'm not saying you're going to trade 48 times an hour. Let's be real. You're looking for 1 or 2, maybe 3 an hour that are perfect. And then we'll apply another equation here so you can make your money. What does the full circle part mean? Well, in the very beginning, like I told you in the beginning, there was a time when we were training people how to use 5-minute binaries as a training tool. Why? Because there's 12 opportunities to trade an hour. If you're learning a system, you got to get time in before you go live. You want to learn how to trade, you want to learn how to do it, you got to get as many trades underneath your belt before you go live. Well, the best thing to do is to apply that practice, that strategy, that solution, that learning to as many trades as possible. And to do so, we knocked you into 5-minute binaries on demo. Now, we tell people, don't trade live with this. This is way back in the beginning. Don't even trade live, trade demo, learn how to do it, and then use that for higher time frames, longer term trades. And it works. The Trader's Mind series is based behind that you see on DEX indicators and on DEX signals. And that Trader's Mind series has taught a lot of people. Now, within that, we began to shift our mentality a little bit, because we've come back to 5-minute binaries again to teach another type of the process. Not only how to use Nadex, but how to use these 2 indicators. And one thing that differs from the style that we use with Trader's Mind is that the style we use with Trader's Mind only really had an 80 to 85% success rate. Yeah, because there was a lot left to interpretation. We used our new DEX support and resistance and our new DEX trend reversal indicator with this system. And we're batting 95 to 97.6%. That's pretty precise, right? Why? Because that's what I have right now. Not just me, but there's other people that have these percentages as well. Now, between these 2, we have to perfect a flow and a discipline. And that means following rules. And in following the rules, you can't be breaking it. You can't be, we'll ask a whole bunch of questions at the end, Todd, and I'll make sure I get to that, okay? Now, we'll go over all the rules. We'll go over the process. I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll start breaking this whole thing down so it starts making sense to you. The rules of a 5-minute trade, very simple. No news trading. We completely stay away from news. 30 minutes prior, 30 minutes post. See a news, we use our friends over at investing.com, okay? And we look for news that has 2 bulls or 3 bulls or more, right? Well, not more. You want to have more than 3 bulls, but okay. And we stay away. Now we're going to have an 8:30 run, so we got about 51 minutes, but we got no news that's going to interfere with. So anything that has 2 bulls. So 1400 military time. So at 2 bulls, I would say about 15 minutes for 2 bulls on either side. So at like 1:45 to 2:15, I'd stay away from anything USD, right? Very simple. So we know not to trade news. Secondly, we wait for the arrow, and I'll show you here what this looks like, but they come out on the 3 and 4 minute. We're using the M1 time frame, so every bar is set to a minute, Okay, so each bar is set to 1 minute. So on the 3 minute and the 4 minute, so like 103, 113, 123 and so forth, or 124, if it's on a 3 or 4 minute, that's the one that we use to pick our expiry. So, and I'll show you what that looks like here as well. We use our our support and resistance indicator to pick the expiry that will be on Nadex. And again, I'll show you what that looks like. If during the trade there's a reversal, like if you have a arrow going one way and you're in the middle of a trade and all of a sudden an arrow comes up to the other way, immediately exit the trade at that point, whether you're win or loss. And we haven't had one come up yet, or I haven't yet, in almost 150 trades I've done. I have done a little bit more than that with back testing and showing back testing, and I haven't been able to find too many that have come out that have actually hit it. It's been like right at the end where we've let it go. So we probably had maybe 2 out of the thousands we back tested. All right. So we're very excited about that. You're not going to get a lot, but it still does happen. So I want to make sure that I tell you that. There's also some extenuating rules of when it is a sell compared to if it's a buy, that you're adding a couple extra pips because Nadex uses the indicative price and not spot Forex. But don't worry, you're going to learn a lot more of this as you begin to get deeper inside. Let me show you what a sell position is like. This is meant to be on this screen here. An arrow will appear on a 3 or 4 minute, and you'll see that here. You can barely see it on this one. It's a bad graphic right here, but I got a new one coming for tomorrow. I'm gonna be rebuilding the graphic system for tomorrow night's webinar. But I'm also going to show you the advanced trend reverse that has bigger arrows, and you'll see. But once an arrow shows up, like on this one, you'll see that it is on a 3 or 4 or an 8 or 9 bar. Remember, each one of these bars is 1 minute. What we do, if it's a sell, we come up to this support and resistance line that'll be drawn on the chart for you. And this is the expiry that we take on Nadex, or at least 2 pips up. So we know that we are battling the indicative price on Nadex. And we'll go over some of that more and you'll see. A buy price or buy signal comes on the bottom side of it, and you go to the bottom SR, or what we call the support level. So if it's above, it's a resistance. If it's below, it's a support. Very simple. And with that arrow pointing up, we come down here to grab the Nadex strike price, and we use this to state our strike on Nadex, and we wait for it to get to expiry. And if this expires above that line, then you are in a winner position. Now, there's also a higher risk trade you could do by, instead of going to the SR level, you can go to the tip of the arrow. And basically, you could draw a line at the tip of the arrow and find out what price that is. And that will give you a little higher risk. We have about a 93% success rate at that level. Okay. And that comes from backtesting only. I have gone from the arrow, but I have not marked those ones down. Probably should have, and I will in this next 100 that I do. There's a lot of questions that you're going to have to ask during this process. And a lot is, how many times can I trade this system? Well, there's about 12 5-minute binaries that can happen in that 1 hour, and there's 4 possibilities. So there's 48, or there's 4 assets. So there's about 48 opportunities per hour. Let's be real. You're not going to be trading those. You're going to be waiting for a good 2 or 3 trades an hour, maybe 4, and you're waiting for perfect signals. You're not going to be rushing it. You're not going to be adding, your own rules in it. Well, if it does this and it does that, let me push this a little bit. You're not going at different arrows. Well, it's at the 7, and maybe I could probably make this one. Trust me, our algorithm, our system, our process is not just about me going, what good rules are there? We have a strategy tester. And the strategy tester is just basically a machine. Basically, it's a one full stack on this computer system that we have. And we've designed this that I can feed in the variables from our process, from our indicators, okay? And those variables are tested. And they're tested against other variables such like time, pricing, strike pricing, times that the arrows come out. And we had found that when the arrows were coming out, remember, they're coming out on, there's each one of the bars is 1 minute. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When they come out on the 1 and the 2 times, the success rate's in the 80s. We notice that as soon as they hit the 3 and the 4, and of course the 8 and the 9, they started to increase to such a high level I couldn't ignore it. If the whole thing was at 80%, I wouldn't be touting any of this stuff. But because we were able to use this high computer and be able to do that with that, it spit out all this information for us to be able to use. And so that's why I'm telling you, yeah, you can make trades, you can do it, but at a lower success rate, which will make the entire thing a lower success rate. Okay, because then you'll start battling all over the place, revenge trading, all that stuff. So the next thing to know is that you're trying to go after 1 or 2 really powerful trades. And that's it. Why? Because of this algorithm, this equation right here. This is something that I came up with a while ago. Consistency plus volume, okay, plus volume equals goal, right? Whatever your goal is. Once you get the system consistent, right? Did I put that in? No, I did. Once you get the system consistent, apply volume in the form of not more trades, but more contracts that are on Nadex. This is eventually going to get you your goal, but you definitely need to have your balance up because you're going to be applying risk management all along the way. Most of you use no risk management. You just put down how many contracts you feel like. But you're going to have to start changing that. You're going to have to start getting into a professional process. That's if some of you are here because you want to learn how to trade professionally. If you don't want to learn how to trade professionally, you're just looking for the next get rich quick thing, this ain't for you. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't mind you walking away at this point because this isn't one of those things. We don't put everything that we do into this because we want to just make a whole bunch of people rich overnight. We can't. We're not trying to take your money to tout that either. We definitely want you to be successful. Why? Because you'll stay around. We got it. So after I start showing you a little bit, I'm going to jump over. We'll come back here to this section here, but we'll talk about the training and what really does work for you about putting the time in. So let's take a quick jump over to the indicators and have a look at them and see what they are. Oh, okay. Let me get some of this up here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to my templates. Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? See if we can get back in there. There we go. All right, let me get rid of some of this other stuff. I do apologize. I was in a teaching mentality there. All right, so this is the one that you see inside the graphics. This is the support and resistance lines that you see. Okay, we're using 2 indicators that we have, the DEX support and resistance and the DEX trend reverse. Now, both of these systems have many variables. It has a license key, of course, for our protection and your protection. Right out of the box, it works. You don't have to change any of the variables. These are for advanced traders only. These will help you later on. Now, you can change the colors. Maybe you don't have a white background with blue bars and red bars. Maybe yours is black and yellow and green, whatever it is. You can change the colors to make it look how you want it, right? Very powerful. Our DEX support and resistance is a free advanced indicator as well. So even though you buy into the system, normally our advanced indicators are a certain price per month. This one is a free advanced one. So you get the advanced stuff, which is sound alerts and even email alerts, which is very powerful too. Not that you'd be using email alerts for 5-minute binaries. Trust me, you're not going to want to be able to do that. But the system itself is pretty powerful. The indicator for trend reverse is also very powerful, but it doesn't have a lot of variables. You don't need a lot, right? You have your license key and you have the availability to change the high-low period. But again, you don't need to mess with any of the stuff. We've calculated with the 8s in there and for the standby bars as well. So you just leave that, right? We also have another new version of it in the advanced category where we've placed an alert on the process, because we had a question from a group last night that wanted to ask if they could put an alert on there because somebody gets up and walks away from the computer. Well, if you hear the alert and by the time you walk to the computer or what have you, you're probably missing the trade. But I can understand, because I liked it because I could go watch YouTube for a minute and it would alert and I could flip back over quickly. So it did work for me. So we built it into an advanced part of the algorithm for the indicator. Now, oh, you're welcome, Michael. What we have built in, I'm sorry, let me get back over, wrong spot. What we have done, in fact, I'm going to put it on the advanced one so you can see it better. And I'm going to turn off the, oh, this is Dex Daily Signals, wrong one. Hang on 1 second. Charts. Okay. Gonna have to, I need to put on my license, so just give me 1 second. Should only take a second. There it is, open, and okay. Ooh, okay, I probably should have shut that off. Edits, let me take that one off. Oops. Okay. Let me get you back over. Let me get you back over here. All right, and here we go. All right, so here is the, here's the alert that you'd see that it comes over. It gives you the time, gives you the direction, gives you the, and in fact, even gives you the price that you can use. Pretty powerful. But the hour's a lot bigger, right? Nice big process here, right? Pretty cool. Let me get you on the 1 minute chart where it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to add the trend reverse, or I'm sorry, the support and resistance. Very simple as well. I'm going to load in my support and resistance, hit OK, and there we go. Okay, and you can see that the lines are added in. Now, the cool thing is that there's a lot of signals happening here, right? But it really comes down to the two things that I said. That each bar is set on a minute chart, right? Set on the minute chart. And if you can look down here, if I hover over this bar and I'm using my crosshair, Control F, on your MetaTrader, if you hover over that bar, you'll see down below it has the time, 2:16, or 2:17, 2:16, there you go. I have this server that I'm using right now for FXCM, see FXCM, is set at a different time than we are, right? But the minutes are the same, right? If you go to the very last active bar, it should say 22, the same that's on your computer, right? Same that's on the bar, 22 and 22. It should be pretty damn close, right? If you're 1 minute off, then you have to adjust your home computer or what have you to what your server bar is, right? And you could do that just on the minute side. You don't have to change the hour, it's just a minute. So when an arrow shows up on the last one, which is a minute on a minute bar on a 3 or a 4, okay, or a 8 or a 9, that's the one you're using for the trade, okay? And in doing so, you're going to begin to find that pattern that if it's for a sell, you come up to the bar. If it's a sell and you can come from the tip of it, you can do that. Now this one was on the 7, so we wouldn't have gotten into it. This one here was on a 3, and you don't get into the active where the arrow shows up, because the 3, the 4, there's the 5 minute ending where the new one's starting, okay? Then you get in, so this is the one you get in on. You don't get on the active one, you get on the very next one. So the arrow is pointing down. So I would have gotten into this trade at about this level, but 2 pips up, right? Because remember, the main Nadex network uses an indicative price, which is about a pip and a half higher than what Spot Forex is. So if I'm here, 105.55, I would have went to 105.57, right around up in this area. I can even just came up a pip, maybe 105.56, right? And I could even use this line here. Okay, well, I couldn't have used it here because this is when it came out right here. But I would have came at that point, we came up 1 pip more, right? So I'll raise this bar up to 1 pip more, so to 56 right there. And that's where I would have taken my strike on Nadex. If Nadex didn't have it, I wouldn't have taken it. If he had something close to it, if you change the rule, you change the risk. Got it? Simple. Now, this one was a win. Now, during the time of this happening, another arrow came out, but it came out on the minute 6. So this really didn't affect us. If it was an opposite direction, like I said in the beginning, you would have gotten out. So this one was a win. Now, I don't think these two conflicted, so they didn't conflict. So there. So, and this one was on a 6, so we wouldn't have gotten in. As I hover over, this one was on a 21, so that was on a 1 minute. So this one we wouldn't have gotten in on. And you start to see the pattern here that when you find the ones that are on the 8 and the 9, here's one here, we would have gotten at that level, came up 1 pip, so 1053, 1054. This is the line we would have gotten in at on Nadex. Now remember, because we're on the minute chart, this is only a pip and a half higher. So it looks really far, but it's only a pip and a half. You would have definitely gotten into Nadex signal on this, or Nadex trade on this one. Okay. And look what happens. When it came out, now also, the arrows don't come out on the actual bar. At the end of this bar here, the next bar, it goes back 1 bar and puts the arrow here. Now, some might say that's repainting, but that's not actually repainting. It's not going back and fixing it to make it all look perfect. It's not going 3 or 4 bars and then at the end of the win, it goes back and says, oh yeah, we were right. Because you can actually go find where there's losses in here with the bars painting, okay? Why I go back 1 bar to point to that direction. First off, the algorithm checks to find the trend, to find the reversal, and it uses that information. Now, why we go back 1 is because I want you to use that bar as the highlight, right? Because the moment one of you, if I were to put it on the actual bar that when it comes out, and what we do, it does a double confirm. If I actually put it on that one, a lot of you will not use that bar. Most of the human element will use the bar the arrow is on. Okay, so keep that in mind. I didn't want to make a 4th rule on it to say, okay, now go back one bar, and that's the one you use. All right, so it's always the one you're on. So you're hunting, you're checking, and all you need to do is move your mouse up once, 1 little bit. You don't have to go back 1 and move up again, or remember that process, right? Okay, so once we get to that, and we know that it comes out on the next bar. So now, if we're waiting for a 3 or a 4 bar arrow, it's now not going to show up to the end of the 4th or end of the 5th bar. Does that make sense? So once that happens, you can sit down and look at your computer and say, all right, it's 7:27 right now. I know I'm not going to get an arrow at all. At least not one that I can use. I'm not going to get one until 7:29, if I get one on the Euro USD. Now, because we're using this system here, let me do this. I'm going to make a quick template. I just right click, I go to template. I'm going to change the template name to support resistance TR5, and I'm going to say alerts because I'll know it's the new one, right? And now I want to go and I'm going to collapse all these other ones. I'm going to change over the template. I show you how to do this all inside too. There you go. I'm going to change it to 1 minute. I'm going to change this template over to 1 minute. There you go. USD templates. Fine. Change it to 1 minute. And I'm going to get rid of the one because it's redundant. Now I have all 4 here, right? So I have all 4 running. Everything's looking good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screen in this mentality here with this 4 square. I'm going to make sure it's to the end of the chart. I'm going to give myself a little room at the end of the chart by using these 2 buttons up here. Scroll the chart and shift to the end so I can give myself a little room. And do the same thing as I click on each one, get it to the end. Okay. Click on there, get it to the end. Click on there and get it to the end. Okay. So we can kind of see that the arrows are there, the bars are there, everything is there. Okay. Here's one that showed up on the 4 minute. Okay. This is one we would have gotten into, and that would have been a win. This is on the 7, so we wouldn't have got into that one. Right. All right. So there we go. All right. So once that happens, I'm going to then go over to my Nadex, and I'm going to show you how to set this up. It's very, very simple to set this up. If you've noticed, I'm going to get it like that. You guys can still see. I've sort of off-centered my charts and my Nadex. So I could just flip back and forth just like that. I don't got to come down to the bottom of the screen or keep opening one side or the other. This is a little trick I learned a long time ago. I make sure that all 4 of my charts are up. I don't even need the other stuff that's there, and I can even make this just a little bit smaller so I can see if I make it a little bit bigger. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I can make the charts a little bigger, I guess, but this is up to you, okay? But I off-center it just a little bit so I can always tag the bar in the top, right? So I sit here on my screen, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. Now, before any of you say, well, I don't want to sit on my computer all day and wait for trades. I traded 100 trades in 5 days, and or in over a period of 7 days, but only on 5 days. And in that trading time, I only traded, I think, about a total of 10 hours over the 5 days. I think that's what it was. I think it may have been 11 hours total of me waiting for trades. 11 hours. So far, out of those 100 trades, because I had 91. Let me pull this up here. And I know Michael's going to do this. I'm going to see if I can beat him. Ready, Michael? At the same time, I had 99 wins and 2 losses. Okay. You can tell me what that percentage is. 99 wins and 2 losses. Let's see if I can get it. 98%. Okay. So I had 98% success on the process. Now remember, all results may vary. I built it. So you may not have the same exact success rate. But the only thing that separates me from you is that I may have built it and I understand the rules and I follow the discipline of the rules. I follow the same thing you're going to follow. So if you can't do it, it's not because you're not as good as I am. It's because you may not be following the rules like I am. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, how much did I make in that 11 hours? Well, because I'm scalping out, I didn't make as much as I wanted. Okay. Because I can't even spell tonight. Because I'm scalping, right, which means getting out of the trade, taking a smaller profit margin. Because I'm scalping, I made $1,042 in that 11 hours of trading over 5 days. Right? Out of 1,800. I'm not sure what 18. Well, yeah, I guess if you applied $20 per each one, yes, you could make $1,800. But then this number wasn't as high even at the end, because what was happening was that I started to balance out the rules a little bit. Even one of the trades that I got into that I lost, I probably shouldn't have got in. I was in the middle of a webinar. I was pushing the whole program forward, and one loss was an actual physical loss. Okay. So I know how powerful the system is. I know what needs to be done to make it work. And it comes from just doing the work behind it. Right? It's 31. I go back and I check. Because we're on the 3-minute mark right now, well, 232, 233. Okay, I know that something's not going to come up till 7:34 or 7:35. So I can come back over here, do some more work. Okay. So are the alarms loud? And it's, well, I don't know what you want. I can put a foghorn in there if you want and can shake your house a little bit, but you don't, it's going to be ringing off every time an arrow comes up to give you information, because I didn't want to make an alarm for just one strategy. The alarm is really going to be, it just dings off and ding, and it's not like it's not trying to wake you up from a somber sleep, but it's also not something that it's going to scare the crap out of you a lot, right? It's going to catch you off guard. There are ways to install MetaTrader 4 on a Mac. You can talk to a few people. There's a lot of Google stuff on there. I don't use a Mac, I use a PC. There's also another process that we can probably come up with too, using a VPS. Very inexpensive. I think it's like 20, 30 bucks a month. You can get like a really low grade one. If you don't know how to do those, we'll have a service that we can do at very low cost to set it up and install it and put it all on. So you can just log in, and then you can have, and you don't even have, you can log in with any web browser at that point. It's pretty cool. If you go to MT4 as well, as Amy says, their site, they have a few things. It gets a little bit complicated, but Amy uses a Mac, so she takes care of it on that side. All right, let's jump back over and see if there's anything coming through, because I'm trying to do a live trade for you. You guys can see the rules as well on the 32, 32, 31, 31, nothing out yet. So we're still kind of making sure I got all UC, Euro UC, British Pound UC. Yay. No, all the indicators are available for download. You go in, you buy in. We're going to give you a 50% off for life discount. We're the only signal or only indicator network that I know of that gives you one flat fee or one reoccurring fee per month. It's pretty low for what it is. Instead of charging you like $200 or $300 for an indicator, and you're always going to get updates. You're going to get every update known to man with the process, and we're going to be constantly adding more indicators on. We're going to be adding strategies. We're going to be adding EAs for those. We're going to be putting Forex systems out, binary systems. We also have a flag and pennant system that we're bringing out that's already on there that I'm going to be bringing out the strategies to teach you. And you use a lot of at the monies with those. That one's pretty powerful too. A flag and pennant, is as far as a candlestick pattern and what we call an emergence is pretty powerful. Or coming out the other side. So it's very powerful system in there as well. So anything you buy in now, you're going to be able to get into multiple things later on, especially because I don't like these gimmicky companies that go, well, buy in now because it's good price is going to go up Friday. But in our case, it's not a gimmick. We really do have to increase the price on Friday or after Friday for next week, because we have priced out all of the work that we have done on what we have done. And we needed to be at that $147 a month process. But remember, with that, you get a lot of stuff. I mean, you get all the training. I'm going to show you here in a minute exactly all the stuff you get in. In fact, let's do that now. Let me jump back over to see if there's anything that anything came out. Nothing just yet that we can use. So let me jump over to the site. Did I do that right? Yep, I did that right. Okay. All right. So inside of course, you get all the indicators, right? You get all the basic indicators. A basic membership covers all the basic indicators. And this is if you're joining now, it's like $73.50 a month. So it's not very much at all. But you get these 6 indicators in here that are very powerful to be able to use a trend reverse. We also, from our DEX Signals network, have put our signal system into an indicator, and we show you how to use it. I'm getting the strategy on. I wanted to get the 5-minute strategy on first to get that on. And plus you get all strategies as well. Oops, didn't show up here on the page. Now the advanced indicators, you get at a very discounted price. So you get all the basic ones. And then like for the stuff that has like the alerts and the email systems, the more advanced stuff that costs us a lot of money to build and to take care of and to maintain, there's another small fee on top of that. But again, very, very small fees compared to these other indicator companies out there that charge hundreds of dollars a month for these things, okay, for each one. All right, so very, very powerful. And the DEX support and resistance one is free in the advanced side. The DEX daily signals email is free until Friday. I had to charge for the DEX trend reverse alert because it was a rush job to get done so we could have it on, and it cost a lot of money to do. But I wanted to make sure you had all that. Now, once you buy into the company and you buy into the system and you get inside, this is where it really starts to get on the teetering side of so much value to the process. Is that the training? There is the Trader's Mind series. There's the MetaTrader Mayhem series, teaches you everything about MetaTrader and getting the pro setups and all the other stuff that's in there. And it also teaches you, so there's another one called Nadex Ninja. And the Nadex Ninja series teaches you about the stuff, how to use your demo account, how to, trade the binaries, how to get in and out, what's a working order, all those things that you can get into trouble with. All my videos are very short videos, 3 or 4 minute, 5 minute long. You're not going to sit for an hour and a half and listen to somebody blather on about how great they are, right? You want to hear, how do I do it? Let me follow a quick video. Let me go try it out. I'll come back and watch the video again. And each one is in a training series so you can track, on which ones you have done. It's got transcripts on it as well. You can mark it as complete so you know that you've done it. And this way you can track your progress. Let me refresh that screen. There you go. See, it'll track the progress. So very powerful for you to be able to use. Also, we do constant webinars. We're going to be doing webinars for a long time coming. And so there's the live webinar, which you got into, and then there's webinar archive that will show you the ones that have, when we have multiples in there, to be able to get into that process. Now, also, we have the training side. On each one of the indicators, there is a training setup to show you the intro, to show you the setup, show you advanced setups, the DEX signal stuff, all this stuff in there. Also, as a big final thank you very much, there is a book consult process where you get to talk to myself or senior trader, and booking this time is absolutely free. And if you're booking a senior consult from DEX Signals, you get about 45 minutes. If you're doing a DEX indicator consult, about 30 minutes. This is where you can book some time to talk to somebody about, like, if you need maybe just a little bit of hand holding with the program to figure out some more of the setups, or maybe even installing or anything from that point. There's also on the website a very advanced customer service platform. Okay, you put your question in here and there's somebody there. If it says online, that means we're there. There's also under the contact us, our hours of operation, the phone number, okay, even our mailing address is there, just in case you want to send some snail mail, right? But let's be real. Companies that want to help you, you'll be able to contact. Those companies that don't want to help you, they got fake numbers, they got stuff all over the place, right? Yes, that was on one contract, Terrence. Terrence asked, was the weekly profit based on buying one position for each trade? And the answer is yes. I never, when I'm demoing anything, do I ever put in, I'm at that point now in my trading career where I'm safe with imagining what the numbers will be by multiplication, right? I don't need to prove anything to anybody by putting in 50 contracts to make it look, oh, look, I just won $6,000. I don't need to do that, right? That's all fake. What we want to do is be able to put in the process and show you exactly what it is, right? I think it's asked, and 20-minute indicators that Thor uses. We don't do those just yet. The indicators that Thor uses a Ninja process and trades in indices on the market. So we will be getting with that. And I keep talking to Thor about that process, and we're getting there. We had to get this part of the series out first. Once we got this out, then we're going to go down to that 20-minute binary process. So it will be pretty powerful in there as well for that. Yeah, absolutely. On the site, if you want to find where the 5 minute binary is, it's under strategies. You can go to strategies, you go to 5 minute full circle. Okay, this is after you're a paid member, and you come down and it shows you which two to get. Right, they're free with the membership. You then go down through. You can go through the rules here. There is a training, your system setup, 5 minute full circle overview, the 5 minute full circle flow sheet and rules, and also practical usage. It shows me trading them. That's the playlist that you've seen on the fronts of the process. The 5 minute live trades here. And there's going to be a lot more. There's another list that's happening, another playlist that's happening of me trading the next 100 trades. So you can follow along the entire thing. I didn't start recording them until about, I think it was like 85 or 75 or something like that. So there's only about 25 trades in there. But the next one will have all 100 in there. And these are legitimate. I'm not faking ones or leaving out losses. I even had one loss in the system. It's in one of the webinars. In the webinar archive is the loss. Okay, so I didn't record it and put it in this section, but it's in this section. So it's not pretty, right? It hurts, but you know what? There's always losses. Nobody has a perfect system. Another question is, I'm 5 minutes, let the time expire if it's in profit. Yeah, you know what? There is a part of the process, and I'll try to go into it here as well, that let me see if we had one come up at all, if we missed it. No, we didn't miss it. If I get an arrow, let me pull this up here. If I get an arrow, and let's say we were going to get this one. It's on a 5 minute, but this is not one you would get. Okay. But let's say we did get that one. And let's say we went at the closest SR level, which is right here. Okay. If it deviates, if it goes into an area that's one deviation away, one support or resistance level away, okay, and it goes into that area, I'm going to keep it to expiry, right? I'm going to keep it to expiry to that point because it's in a 5 minute period and it's rarely ever going to come back from that. Very rare, right? Now, if it takes off and goes, about halfway through that deviation, and it's pushing through some of these temporaries like this one here, and if I feel good about it, if I get to if I'm doing like a $20 profit and I get to $10, it's that creativity now that has to kind of take over. It's that gut feeling, right? I wouldn't say greed, but I would probably say for me, I want to keep the process right in front of me. I want to keep my money, right? So I'm going to go after my money. Okay. Now, I want to show you something right here, right now. There is one unfolding. We got an alert right here on the process on the 44. Okay. Now, remember, you come up 2 pips, so 103.71 is where we need to be. So that's right there. Now, this is an out of the money trade, right? By the time we got the signal, it's an out of the money trade. Now, I don't know if there's any news releasing or anything else, but if this happens, don't just get in just because it has an arrow. If it starts looking like it's going against it, this could be one of the losing ratios on there. This doesn't mean that, I can go in and make some money on some OTM because Max says it has a 95% success rate. This could be the 5%, right? Or not. So one of the things that I'm going to do in the demo is, let me pull that up real quick. 71, this is on the USD JPY. I'm going to come to the USD JPY. I'm going to go to 71. Okay, there's 73. I could have got into that. I'm going to put my one contract down. I'm going to hit place order. I'm going to hit close. Right? I got in for $59. It's at 71. It's out of the money. Right? Now, why did I do that? Well, because I'm following my own rules to that process, and I get to deem, do I want to follow it from that marker with 2 pips up? Now, it's got some movement. So this could be the first one that I'm losing is the first one that I'm doing in that next one. Actually, I got one other one in two, actually 2 now. So this would be my third trade of the new 100, right? So we're just sort of waiting here now for this to unfold. So this is the process though. This is where you as an individual have to make that decision. You know, was it 2 minutes in? Was it 1 minute in? How long was it in for? It was already way out. I made a mistake in doing that process, and the answer is yes. Everything you do from this point on, you know, can this recover? It may not recover. Right? It may not come back into it, but I've had plenty. There's even some that you'll see in there, like on the minute scalp. On the there's this one. See, there's another down arrow right there. But there was even one that was in there that it was really funny. It was like to the millisecond. I mean, to the millisecond of the process. So it was like it just popped up real quick and then popped back out. So very crazy. We got about 19 seconds left. I don't think this one's going to hit it. 15 seconds, 14 seconds. Could this really do that? 7 seconds. 3 seconds. 2, 1. I'm laughing because that's a win. 103.706 is what it called out at. Okay. Now, that doesn't make it perfect just because it happened live in front of your face. It doesn't make it perfect, but I'm following the rules. And if the rules were going to base out from the tip at a little higher rate, at say 95%, 92%, then I'll take that. I'll take that loss and I'll smile all the way to the bank with it. Okay. And that happens the majority of the time. Okay. The support and resistance and the trend reverse are based upon a human element algorithm. And that human element algorithm corresponds with prices, with two things, time and price. All these lines on here are prices that the trades have gone to within a certain block of time. And it's just like that. That is probably one of my highest trades that I've ever done. Well, I didn't do it. I haven't done an out of the money. So that's my first out of the money entry that I have done. And that one was, if I can just come up here, go to history, go to transcription, go to 24 hours, view history. Next. I won $60 on that one, 59, so $58 on that one. Now, I'm not saying that's what you do with everyone is come at the money and hope the direction works out. That one actually fit pretty damn perfect. Did everybody see that? I hope, I hope you did see that. That wasn't like, that's why I'm looking for trades while we're doing it, so I could show you that it's real. I got one person who says, damn it, we can't lose. And one more example. Okay. I'll try to stick around for one more example. There's a lot of examples. There's a lot of process of it happening. And I promise you, I'll never fake one for you. No, my alerts aren't on. I turned them all off because they're annoying to me. I have headphones on and I listen to music and other things while we work. And when it's deathly quiet, you don't want to hear me screaming like a little girl. Marino, it is so fast. Yes. I have 4 screens going. Things are going crazy. You're sitting in front of it. But I have a lot of stuff happening. Okay. I have a lot of stuff happening at the moment, and I'm flipping around. I'm going all over the place. What you're going to have in front of you is just your screen here, Nadex, and maybe your news button, nothing else. And you'll sit and you'll watch. Can anybody hear? Did you hear the amount? And again, disclaimer here, all results may vary. There is risk. You got to be careful. You better not be trading live with this damn thing until you've done your work. All right, now it's time to go all big brother on your ass. Do not trade live with this system until you've hit 200 freaking trades that you have done and been in a positive process. In fact, let's go back to the site, back to the system, and here's your homework. Round 1 training is that you trade demo only for 100 trades. Okay? If you come and purchase and you get on board with us, you don't just get the system, you get me. You get me to help you, right? So you can do consults with me and I can guide you through this process. Why? because we make a ton of money doing this stuff and we're successful. So you need to follow and be around people that are exactly where you need to be, right? You're not going to let some bum teach you how to do stuff. We're here because we're doing it out of practice. We're showing you live how it's being done. So do 100 trades. Okay. 100 trades to get your personal success ratio on your first one. Like mine, right, is 98.01%. That's what I'm at on my first 100 ones, right? You might be a little bit lower in the very beginning, but guess what happens? With practice becomes perfection. Use one contract. Don't use multiple contracts. Use one contract. If you make a mistake, get out. Get out of the process and then don't count that one. And here's why. If you make a mistake, like you go the wrong direction or you get into the wrong minute, right? And you go back, you're like, oh man, that was the wrong one. Get out. Get out and delete it. Delete it from your memory. Delete it from the process. Delete it from the memory. The reason being is because I didn't make any mistakes in that. I did make one mistake, but I let it be a mistake and it was a loss. Okay. So I let it go. I burnt myself with that one. I let that pain happen. So my ratio could be actually higher. But in your case, get out. Make a journal. Okay. Learn how to use Google. All right. Put them onto Google, like I did here from yesterday. Here's from the 11th, 12th, and the 13th, $228. Okay. $228 made in that process. This is not devoid of fees. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about $18 less. So about $210 made in that process. You probably can't see that because I didn't put my screen on desktop like this one right here. This is the spreadsheet. Have it calculated out. $228. So not bad. Yeah, watch the news. Stay away from news. Can I get in a membership using PayPal? No, not on DEX indicators. But here's what I can do. If you contact Amy on the site, she will give you a PayPal address for your first month that you can use. We'll have PayPal on the site, possibly. I got to talk to her about it. But you could just PayPal her the money, the business account, the money for it that month, just to kind of help you to get your feet into it. Okay, and go from there. It is very powerful. But wait to don't do anything yet. We want to give you the code. I want to give you the code so you can get 50% for life with the process, right? And then we'll have you go back in later, because your thing will end after we'll set it for 30 days and it'll go from there. All right. Trade one contract at a time. Round 2 is to do another trade. Now this time, okay, and there's a method to this madness using 5 contracts at once, because you're going to use 5 contracts, and I probably should have used 5 contracts here on that trade. And halfway through, right? Remember what I said before? If it's gone one full deviation, leave all 5 on. If it hasn't gone one deviation still in there, I want you to get rid of, okay, you're going to scalp off whatever good profit margin you can on 3 contracts and leave 2 contracts on to expiry. Okay, it's in the training. It'll show you how to do that. All right. And there's a method to this too. And you watch your profits grow. It's sick. Sick. And you'll start finding, when do I really keep them all to expiry? But you get that knowledge from experience. It doesn't come to you from just guesstimating, right? So we've seen some trades. Here's the code, DEX50, very simple. For those of you that want to get in, get in. $73. What do you have to lose? $73? You're going to get an education. Even if you just went there and downloaded them all and learned how to do it and did it all on yourself and figured it all out, boom, done. Great. It's the best $73 you ever spent. You can wait until Friday. If you wait until Saturday, you're going to pay $147. And there's a reason why, because I can't afford to keep it out there at $73.50. We have a certain amount of people we can bring into this thing. It's unlimited in how many we can bring in, because by the time we're finished, we're going to be teaching Forex here in about a month. We're going to be bringing Forex indicators on that are going to blow you away. Stop loss processes, take profit networks, EAs, they're all here. My other programmer and I have a battle plan. Get the foundation for DEX down, get DEX indicators down, get it really super strong, and start building out these heavy systems of trading for expert advisors, signal provider systems, all of it. Okay. Now, also, that's 50% off every month for this DEX 50. After that, you'll probably get a maybe 10% or 15% discount after that. So you might get 15, 16, maybe 20 bucks off of the process. But not after that. You can't afford to do it. For those of you that are watching, this is probably the longest webinar I've done. For all of you that are watching after the fact, thank you so much for hanging out. For everybody else that's in the room, hang out for questions and answers afterwards. I'm going to call it here now. I want to thank all of you. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you. Oh, wait, never mind. Yep, 7:59. You have a great night. We'll see you inside the system. Yes, it is recorded. You can sign up right on the website, dexindicators.net. Somebody put the email, I'll put the address in there. But I'm going to head and kill the thing. And thank you very much for your time and trade well. Everybody in the chat room, stick around.